Thousands of bike riders are pedaling for a cause from the Ben Franklin Bridge to the Jersey Shore. It's a beautiful. Well, thousands of bike riders making their way from Philadelphia down to the Jersey coast. The action cam was there as teams took off on their journey. This was about 7 o'clock this morning on the annual Ben to the Shore bike tour. That bike tour is more than just a ride out to the beach. It raises money for the families of local fallen first responders and programs that build relationships between police and children.
We ride for the fallen officers and their families. This year we've been able to raise, our goal was $100,000. We've been able to raise over $130,000.
Quite a bit of money there. The Ben Franklin Bridge just reopened at about 8:30 this morning for drivers. This year marks the 36th annual event.
And happening right now, thousands of cyclists are pedaling their way from the city of Philadelphia down the shore to Atlantic City for the 36th annual Ben to the Shore bike tour. CBS News Philadelphia reporter Howard Monroe joins us live again from the base to the bridge with more on how this event helps families of fallen and critically injured first responders. Howard, good morning.
Good morning to you, Jan. You know, and just like that, we're all alone out here. Those 2,000 riders, they're now making their way down to Atlantic City. That's a 65-mile ride, and then they have a huge after party afterwards. But first, this is all in a special honor this morning, and it's all to honor the fallen officers. And there was a special honor as well for fallen Pennsylvania State Troopers Martin Mack and Brandon Siska. They were killed in March of 2022 by an alleged drunk driver on I-95. Trooper Mack's widow, Stephanie, is also taking part in this race, in this ride. She'll be with over those 2,000 other bike riders. The ride benefits the families of fallen and critically injured first responders. It also helps to raise funds to strengthen relations between police and the public. They are hoping now to raise $1.2 million this year for their efforts. We spoke to an officer who's been taking part in this race for 34 of the last 36 years. Take a listen.
It takes care of our fallen families, and you know, and even the officers who are traumatically injured, and it just you can't say enough. It helps our families at their worst times, and how many people come out here knowing what it's about. It's not just, they're not showing up because they want to take a bike ride. They don't need this event to do it. They come out for its purpose and not for necessarily the ride, and can't be more grateful.
Now, if you're not riding today, you can cheer these officers and first responders on. For most of this ride, they'll be taking the White Horse Pike, so go on out there, give them a high five, give them a glass of water as well, whatever you can do. You can also help benefit and donate to this up until the start of the new year in 2024. Jan, we'll send you back to you in the studio.
It really is a great show of support each and every year. Howard, thank you.
Yes.
7:35. The annual Ben to the Shore bike tour is underway right now. Thousands of cyclists are now making the trip to Atlantic City to support the families of fallen and injured emergency workers. CBS News Philadelphia reporter Howard Monroe is live at the base of the bridge for us this morning, where he saw all those riders pedal away just a short time ago. And just like that, the bridge is back open. Howard, good morning.
Good morning to you. And yes, that bridge, the Ben Franklin Bridge, had just reopened about 3 minutes or so ago. Those riders, they are well into their ride now to Atlantic City. By the way, that is a 65-mile ride. Now, this race had kicked off at 7 o'clock this morning, and there was a special honor for fallen Pennsylvania State Troopers Martin Mack and Brandon Siska. They were killed in March of 2022 by an alleged drunk driver on I-95. Trooper Mack's widow, Stephanie, is also taking part in that ride. She is with 2,000 other bike riders. The ride benefits the families of fallen and critically injured first responders. It also helps to raise funds to strengthen relations between police and the public. Earlier today, we spoke with Stephanie Mack about her husband and also why she wanted to take part in this ride.
It's overwhelming, but you know, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Having the immediacy grants funded and education funds funded through these rides, it's motivating in and of itself is just amazing. So I'm excited to be a part of it, to give back. It's a whole big party afterwards, I hear. So I'm just ready to go have a big party afterwards and enjoy the celebration of survival.
Now, that part of that she was just mentioning is happening at the Showboat. They say they'll be out there until about 3 o'clock. So if you want to go out there and celebrate with them, you're more than welcome to. You can also cheer them on along the way. For the most part of this ride, they'll be taking the White Horse Pike. They do have a goal of raising $1.2 million in just today's efforts. In the last 24 hours, we're told by the organizers that they were able to raise about $50,000. So, Jan, everyone trying to get involved with this good cause. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
A great outpouring of support there. We love to see that. Howard, thanks so much.
Thousands of bike riders making their way from Philadelphia down to the Jersey Shore. Action Cam was there as teams took off on their journey around 7 o'clock this morning for the annual Bend to the Shore bike tour. That bike tour is more than just a ride to the beach. This raises money for the families of local fallen first responders and programs that build relationships between police and children.
We ride for the fallen officers and their families. This year we've been able to raise, our goal was $100,000. We've been able to raise over $130,000.
And this is the 36th year for the event.
Sunday night, I'm Walter Perez. In the news, a community in Bucks County gathers in honor of the 6 lives lost during last weekend's flash flooding. Also, more than 2,000 cyclists taking part in a 65-mile bike ride today in support of fallen first responders and their families. Thousands of bike riders made their way from Philadelphia to the Jersey Shore for the 36th annual Bend to the Shore bike tour. The Action Cam was there early this morning as teams took off on the 65-mile ride. 27 members of SEPTA's Team Transit rode for the first time this year, raising more than $14,000.
It was a rough start, even a harder finish, but we did it. When the time gets rough, we pick up the ones that died.
Funds raised go toward the families behind the Badge Children's Foundation. The nonprofit organization provides financial relief for the families of local fallen first responders.